here on our judging panel, and Jo Pride, of course, of Pride Racing Stables based out at Warwick Farm.
That's a beautiful circle that she's previously won such a coveted award, and now she gets to judge herself for the 2019 recipient. We have 63 eligible entrants into this year's competition. How is that going to be decided with such a large class of horses?
Be extraordinary, won't it? So you'll see now that they've split the group up into a smaller, more manageable batch to adjudicate, and they'll put them on the circle as they've done now, and the judges will be making their decision about who they think is eligible for the Colonel A.V. Pope Trophy. Yeah, Tim's headphones don't work.
Over in Ring 2, underneath the big screen, we're about to see the awarding of the special class number 39, Champion and Reserve Champion, Arabian Derivative Mare or Filly. Congratulations to the champion recipient, catalogue number 1144, Karma Park Bellagio, exhibited by Naomi Brinkow of Castlereagh, New South Wales.
Well, a lot going on here in the main arena. Our first competitor out on course now, Talara Cameron riding Coppabella Verde. This is an 86-second round one course. What we're looking to do here is have competitors get a clear round if they can within the time allowed, and then we'll move into a jump-off here today. Our course designer, Werner Deeg, has certainly set the course very high, and that's because it's the best of our best riders and competitors out here on course. This is Talara Cameron and Coppabella Verde.
Back to Ring 2, where the reserve champion, Arabian Derivative Mare or Filly, has been awarded to catalogue 1462 Regal Drive FF by Future Farms out of Romsey in Victoria. So congratulations to Karma Park Bellagio and Regal Drive FF, your champion and reserve champion, Arabian Derivative Mare or Filly. You'll see sashed in Ring 2.
Well, a time of 91.3622, jumping penalties here for Talara Cameron and Coppabella Verde. Well, in this class, we are competing. We are competing in the first major class of the Sydney Royal Easter Show, our Section 1, Table A. Well, next competitor out on course, you can't miss him in the red jacket. This is Russell Johnson and Dupreece. Well, a bit of interest for you. Russell was an Olympian at the Atlanta Olympics in 1996 on his thoroughbred Southern Contrast. Russell Johnson clear over the first. They have 86 seconds to make their way around this course. For every 4 seconds over, a time penalty is incurred. For every rail down, 4 jumping penalties. If you've just joined us here in the main arena, you are watching the best of our best show jumping competitors. This is a Section 1, our Group A for senior riders. And to qualify for this class, you need to have won a Grand Prix or a World Cup. You want to bring your horse up through the parts and the sections. And you nominate to the Sydney Royal Easter Show. If you are selected, you make it through to this class. This is one of the hardest competitions at the Sydney Royal, leading to the Grand Prix on Monday. And show jumping is quite a unique sport in a number of ways. One of the ways it's unique is a bit like golf. You want to end with a lower score rather than a higher one. You want as few penalties carried on as possible. And it'll be 9 penalties there for Russell Johnson and DePriest, 2 jumping penalties and a time penalty. And heading out now into the arena, Aaron Hadlow and Valen Vader. Well, this is her first time, Valen Vader, out here competing in Section 1 at the Sydney Royal. But Aaron, it's not his first time. He was last year's Sydney Royal Easter Show most successful rider. And you've seen Talara Cameron out here, and now you've seen Russell and Aaron make their way out into the ring. It's one of the few sports in the world where men and women compete on equal footing. Well, they've had a review of the course, and to get around the 500 metres here and the multiple jumps, it's now a 90-second course, so the time has been extended for our competitors. Well, Aaron Hadlow, Valen Vader, a horse he calls Lucy in the stables, purchased from Sue and Jeff Smith as a 4-year-old, now 12 years old. And they won the World Cup Series. He and this lovely mare, Valen Vader. Three efforts still to go. Oh no, so just one rail. Just one rail down so far for Aaron Hadlow riding Valen Vader. All clear over the last. Well, time of 8:3:05. 4 faults. Puts him in the lead so far. We're looking for a clear round to get us through to a jump off here In the Section 1 Table A, Sydney Royal Easter show jumping contest. Well, it's all going on here at Good Friday at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. We're watching one of the most significant classes here being judged, not only in size but also in prestige, Class 507. It's the Colonel A.V. Pope Cup that is being competed for at the moment. And if you look under that steward's tent, the purple and white little tent there, you will see that magnificent trophy. Meanwhile, over in our show jumping arena, we're about to see the current New South Wales State show jumping champion on course. In fact, he came out here earlier in the week and took out the blue ribbon in the Section 2. This is Tom McDermott, and he's riding Elegance de la CHARMILLE. Well, it was only last month when Tom went out to the Grand Prix at the Canberra Royal Show and won that. He's represented Australia in the Youth Olympics, the Nations Cup in America, and this is a horse that he imported, and at 8 years old, it's one of the youngest horses competing in this class. Well, we're watching Tom McDermott riding Elegance de la CHARMILLE here in the Section 1 Group A Senior Rider Contest.
In ring 2, we have the results of class number 30, Arabian Derivative Colt under 3 years. First place goes to catalogue number 1838, Kaluda Park Stolen Kisses, exhibited by Donna Murray of Stroud, New South Wales.
Well, you can put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. That is Tom McDermott and Elegance de la CHARMILLE with a clear round, which means if we get one more competitor through, we will have a jump off a time of 82.15, Elegance de la CHARMILLE, and the current state champion, Tom McDermott.
Back to ring 2, second place for Arabian Derivative Colt under 3 years is catalogue number 1024, MCDERMOTT Party Trick, exhibited by Jodie Allen of Jerilderie in New South Wales. Catalogue number 1221 takes out third place in the Derivative Colt class. Paulgren Park VIP, exhibited by Belinda Cole Shepley. Congratulations to the place getters of the Arabian Derivative Colt under 3 years class.
Well, on course now is a young lady by the name of Brooke Langbecker. She is riding Quintago 1, an imported stallion. Brooke comes to us from Queensland, very successful in the show, winning the first of the Section 1 comps on Wednesday, placing 5th in the Section 2 yesterday. She won a leading horse at Toowoomba Royal last month, the World Cup at SIAC in December. On course now, Brooke Langbecker. Well, Brooke Langbecker, ladies and gentlemen, she has given us what we've all been hoping for here. A jump off with Quintago 1, a time of 85.45. So Tom McDermott, an Elegance de la CHARMILLE, and Brooke Langbecker, Quintago 1, will take us through to a jump off in the Section 1 here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Well, next out on course is another young lady to watch. She is the current reigning Australian show jumping champion. Lives on the outskirts of Sydney, trains with George Sanner, an ambassador for the Sydney International Horse Trials. And this combination have had amazing success, winning in 2016 here at the Sydney Royal. Last year they won the New South Wales Championships and not so long ago the Australian Championships as well. They placed second in the Section 1 on Wednesday. This is Amber Fuller and CP ARETINO.
Drawing your attention to ring 3 in front of the Cumberland stand, we have the results of class number 183, Australian Saddle Pony Mare or Gelding, over 12.2 hands and not exceeding 13.2 hands. The winner of that class goes to catalogue number 2189, KT Miss Molly, exhibited by Karen Townsend. The second place getter, as you'll see leaving with the red ribbon, is catalogue number 1588, El Vonara Park Candyman, exhibited by Carmen Jackson. Third place with the white ribbon as they're exiting the arena is catalogue number 1922, Les Flirtieux Just Finesse, exhibited by Jane Parot-Isian. Fourth place, catalogue number 1415, Genevieve Everingham's Kirion Little Drummer Boy. And fifth place, catalogue number 1951 for the Pepperell family, Valley View Phantom. Rounding out the placings on sixth is catalogue number 2072, Kyabra Park Casino Royale, exhibited by P&R Solway and PRS Family Stables.
Well, thank you very much, Hannah Hawker. Well, we have a time of 90.77 there, so a time penalty will be incurred with Amber Fuller and CP ARETINO. A total of 13 jumping penalties there. And our next on course will be Chris Chug and PSS Levelinski. Well, there's so much more going out here than you probably see in the show jumping arena. We've got competitors who we said before at the top of their game. These are some of the best horses competing on the circuit at the moment. But whilst they're out there, they're thinking of a whole host of things that they've worked on with their horse. You saw them walk the course before. They needed to see how many strides between each and what direction they wanted to take to get around the course in the predetermined order by Werner Deeg, our course designer. They've also got to worry out there about lots of different components of the jump. The approach, getting to the jump, the takeoff, the moment before where the horse lowers its head, stretches its neck, measures up to the fence and prepares for the spring. That moment of suspension, of course, the landing, as you see there, and the getaway or recovery before they move on to the next jump. Well, out here, Farrell comes down. They incur 4 jumping penalties. They need to get around the course in 90 seconds. It's about 500 metres they're getting around today. And on course now, this is an absolute veteran of the sport, Chris Chug and PSS Levelinski. Can he do it? Yes, he can. A clear round for Chris Chug, PSS Levelinski, and a time of 85.94. It's only a few milliseconds behind our fastest time around the course so far with Tom McDermott and ELEGANCE de la CHARMILLE. Brooke Langbecker and Quintago 1 will take us through to a jump-off against Chris Chug and PSS Levelinski. Well, the next out is Gabrielle Kuna. My apologies, we've had a scratching that wasn't updated in my schedule. This is Clint Beresford now. Emmaville Jitterbug, the horse. Emmaville, of course, the well-known prefix for Grant Hughes, the stud in Canberra. Clint's been campaigning this horse in World Cups all around Australia. Won the 2017-18 World Cup Series, won the Grand Prix here back in 2018. Boy, wasn't that a competition. And Emmaville Jitterbug was last year's Sydney Royal Easter Show jumping horse of the show. From Bega, but now living in Canberra, Clint Beresford and Emmaville Jitterbug. So you might be looking out here wondering how the judge determines where the jumping faults occur. So it doesn't matter if you knock the whole rail down or you just bump the first one off or you knock the whole jump down, you will incur just 4 penalties for the jump. And for every 0 to 4 seconds, or every millisecond to 4 seconds over the time allowed that you go, so they've got 90 seconds to get around the course, 1 time penalty is incurred. So they're up against the clock and up against the height here in the Section 1 of the Sydney Royal Easter Show jumping contest. Well, Clint Beresford carrying 4 now on Emmaville Jitterbug. Read a beautiful article the other day in Horse Deals magazine where he said when he first started riding, his mum had to bribe him with lollies because he was so terrified of horses, and here he is now, the 2018 winner of the Grand Prix at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. He comes around to the last fence. Well, put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, carrying only 4 faults and a time of 89.16 under the time allowed. He'll be happy with that. Clint Beresford and Emmaville Jitterbug.
Lindsay, you've mentioned that we have some of the best show jumpers out in the arena for our show jumping Section 1 class today. And in front of the Sydney Royal Stand, we have some of the best gelding hacks competing for the Colonel A.V. Pope Silver Cup Perpetual Trophy. There were 63 eligible exhibits, and the judge has worked them down and assessed as they've gone around the ring, and she has her final selection of 8 in front of her. She'll get them each to do an extensive workout where from there she will select the 2019 Colonel A.V. Pope Silver Cup Perpetual Trophy for the best gelding hack over 15 hands.
Well, we mentioned before that show jumping is one of the few sports in the world where men and women compete on equal footing. So ladies, girls in the audience, this is another great one to get behind. It's Ali Lamb and Denison Park Combat. Well, Ali comes from a dairy farm down in Victoria. It's the returning winner of this class back in 2018. She's usually here competing with her husband, Andrew Lamb. But he's at home prepping the horses at the moment. They've got Aquis, the championship tour that kicks off on Friday in Queensland. Well, Ali is the current 2019 Victoria State show jumping champion. And she won it on this horse, which she started as a youngster. She's clear so far. Railed down at the square oxer. Well, Mr. Joe Pride also judging our major hack class here at the moment. 13 penalties altogether there for Ali Lamb and Denison Park Combat. A time of 90.25. That'll give her a time penalty. 2 rails down, so 8 jumping penalties. And a time there of 90.25. 90.25. Well, the last rider out here. Will we have 4 competitors in our jump-off? 3 going through to a jump-off here in the Section 1 of the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Tom McDermott, the current state champion. Brooke Langbecker, all the way from Queensland. And Chris Chugg, the veteran of the sport. They'll be going through to our jump-off. And this young lady here, Kate HINSCHEN, she has the opportunity to join them. Well, Kate's had a great year winning the World Cup class at Tamworth, placing second in the World Cup class at Sale in Victoria. She got second overall in the World Cup series. She's campaigned on this horse, Finch Farm CADEL, for a number of years and has only been on the World Cup circuit for 2 or 3 years. A relative newbie at this end of the game, but doing extraordinarily well. Last year, this horse was in Section 2, so this is the first year we've seen Finch Farm CADEL in the Section 1 classes. Well, Kate HINSCHEN, Finch Farm CADEL carrying forward. Doesn't put them out of a placing though. Won't make it through to the jump off. Railed down at the Liverpool there at jump number 11. She bends towards the last. Give her a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. 8 jumping penalties there in a time of 86.44. Kate Hinchen and Finch Farm Cadel. Fantastic to see this horse out here progressing from the Section 2 through to the Section 1. Well, what happens now is we take 3 of our competitors who had a clear round and completed the course under the time in round 1 onto a jump-off. Well, the jump-off changes quite dramatically for our competitors. They will jump a totally different course here. They'll jump 6 and 8, then 9AB, jumps 1, 2, 3, and finish on 4 and 5. They'll have a tighter time to get around the course. They'll be looking to go clear once again, less time to do it in. And we'll be taking 3 of our competitors through to that jump off. Tom McDermott on Elegance de la CHARMILLE, Brooke Langbecker and Quintago 1, and Chris Chug on PSS Levinsky.
There's not just the wonderful placings up for grabs in this event, Lindsay. There's also the Jim Barnes Memorial Perpetual Trophy. This trophy was donated by family and friends of the late Jim Barnes, who received an AM in the Order of Australia in 1991 for his services to show jumping and horsemanship. We first saw the Perpetual Trophy presented in 2006 and is awarded to the owner of the winning horse in Class 858, which is the Section 1 Table A you see happening in front of you. Sometimes the rider is the owner of the horse and sometimes there is an external owner to the rider. So the owner of the winning horse will receive the Jim Barnes Memorial Perpetual Trophy. In 2018 it went to Andrew Lamb on his horse CB Argento, and we've mentioned earlier that his wife Ali is competing here today. In 2017 Clem Smith won it on Guru. In 2016 the Roycroft's Stables Proprietary Limited horse Congo Z were the winners of the Jim Barnes Memorial Trophy.
Well, thank you very much, Hannah. It's always good to look back through the history books and see who's performed here. Often we have competitors back out here who have won it on a number of occasions in the past. The Jim Barnes Memorial will be awarding that at the completion of our jump-off here today. Tom McDermott, Brooke Langbecker, Chris Chug, all coming back out. Now, there's a couple of little changes that occur here for the jump-off, and one of those is that for every 1 second over the time allowed, they will incur 1 time penalty. So they're allowed up to 4 in the previous for a single time penalty. This time, it's a much tougher competition with the jump off. And competitors coming out here today will certainly be vying for the cup and the trophy that has been won by so many well-known names in the past. Tom McDermott picking it up back in 2013. Vicky Roycroft, as you said, in 2016. The Diamond Beef Farm picking it up back in 2012. Our Werner Deeg, our course designer, comes to us from Germany. He's out here every year for the Sydney Royal Easter Show. And our judge is Mr. Ho Na Yu from Singapore. He loves coming to the Sydney Royal Easter Show. I saw him out here this year with his grandkids and his daughter and their family. And it's a real delight to have them out at the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
While they reset the course for the jump-off, there's certainly no lack of events to watch. If you turn your attention to in front of the Sydney Royal stand, you'll see the horses working out for the Colonel A.V. Pope Silver Cup Perpetual Trophy. Now, speaking of returned riders and winners, there are 3 very important people that are standing in front of the lineup. The first person you'll see is Mr. Charlie Hook. He is the chief steward for this event, and so it is his job to make sure that the event runs smoothly for judges and for riders. Everyone gets to show off their best, fantastic exhibits that they have gone months and months of work and preparation in to come into the coveted Colonel A.V. Pope Silver Cup Perpetual Trophy. In the Navy, you'll see Mr. Joe Pride. He's one of our judges. He comes from Pride Racing Stables at Warwick Farm. And previously we mentioned that his co-judge, Ms. Marie Tompkinson, was a winner of this very event in 1987. So it is fantastic to have winners and competitors return to us as competitors themselves, but also as judges, as we see in the ring, judging number 507, the Colonel A.V. Pope Silver Cup Perpetual Trophy.
Well, Good Friday at the Sydney Royal Easter Show is always packed with entertainment. And as you're seeing here, if you joined us at the main arena, or if you're on our live stream, welcome to our show jumping spectators via the digital live stream here today. We've also got a big hat class on here at the moment, so we keep talking about it, and we know you're here for the show jumping, but there's lots of people here too for the Colonel A.V. Pope Cup. And we're going to move into our jump off in just a few moments' time here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Section 1 has been underway with 3 competitors moving through. Tom McDermott, the current state champ, a lady from Queensland, Brooke Langbecker, and the veteran of the sport, Chris Chugg, will be out here competing for our trophy. Well, this afternoon we've got our polo on. We had a fantastic match, Queensland versus New South Wales State of Origin yesterday. Today we've got the Trans-Tasman Clash, so Australia versus New Zealand. That'll be out here this afternoon at 4:25 p.m. We'll award the Polo Gold Perpetual Cup, donated by the late Sir Frank Packer. If you hang around tonight, we'll have tent pegging as well. If you haven't seen it before, it's a wonderful sport that dates back many eons to a time in the cavalry where removing the tent pegs off your opponent in the dark of night by stealth, galloping up on your horse, was a very good way to create a calamitous situation for them. But out on course here now, we are joined by the current state champion in the jump off. This is Tom McDermott. He's riding Elegance de la Chamille. He's originally from Wagga Wagga, now living in Sydney. You can see he takes Elegance de la Chamille up to the jump there. Gets Elegance a bit familiar with what's about to go on. They'll be jumping a different course. They'll jump at number 6 first, 8, 9, A, B, the combination there. Finish on jump 5. They've got a lot less time to do it in. Time really counts here because it is truly against the clock. He'll be looking for the blue ribbon, our current state champion, the winner of the Grand Prix at Canberra Royal Show only a few weeks ago. He's been to the Youth Olympics for Australia and the Nations Cup in America. And he won this back in 2013 on a horse called Rolex. Approaching the start, Tom McDermott. Elegance de la Chamille. He's fine through the combination. The additional challenge of the Globe of Death right there in the middle of our Section 1 show jumping course. Towards the last. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. Tom McDermott and Elegance de la Chamille. A time of 44.62, 44.62. That is the time to beat for our next competitor out on course, Brooke Langbecker and Quintago 1.
Celebrating our winners of class number 182, the Australian Saddle Pony Mare or Gelding not exceeding 12.2. You'll see them parading on the outside of the arena. The winner was catalogue 1624, NSJ Enchanted by Nicolette Jones-Ryan and Miss Jade Jones-Ryan and Miss Ella Darmanin. Second was catalogue number 1940, Kristen Peel and Martin Family Partnership, Corana Millions. Third, catalogue number 2076, Rock Fields du Chocolat, exhibited by Alicia Sargent. Fourth, catalogue 1736, Millie Magnia's Yatala Park Louis Vuitton. And fifth, number 1924, Joanne Perry's Tiona Cosette. Congratulations.
Well, it's Brooke Langbecker on course now, the lady from Queensland. She approaches the first, a rail down there. Says Quintago 1, an imported stallion. They've been very successful together. She'll be looking to keep that red ribbon tightly hers at the moment by getting around the course as quickly as possible. No worries at all through the combination. She'll turn towards the big Sydney Royal wall right in the middle of the course. Carrying forward towards the last. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. A time of 49.85, 49.85, and 4 jumping penalties will pop her into second place here in the Section 1 of the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Well, the rails are being popped back up by our wonderful helpers out here in the main arena. And the last out in our jump off of the Section 1. Chris Chugg's his name, and it's a name very well known across the sport of show jumping. He's competed at the Sydney Royal Easter Show for many, many years. He's won the EFA Cup. He's won the World Cup class. He's represented Australia at the World Cup and finished in the top 10 twice in the last decade. Well, this horse, PSS Levelinski, is an imported youngster. And they're gearing up, I hear, to go back overseas pretty shortly. He approaches the first. Well, he's fine over the wall. It's Chris Chugg and PSS Levelinski. Can they do it? Yes, they can. What's the time? 45.62, 45.62. Not quite fast enough today, but very, very close. It's our current state champ, Tom McDermott, and Elegance de la CHARMILLE with a clear round and a time of 44.62. That will take out the event, and he hasn't won it since 2013, so he will be very, very happy with that result here today on Elegance de la CHARMILLE. Second place to our veteran of the sport, Chris Chugg and PSS Levelinski. He had a clear round and a time of 45.62. Third place to Brooke Langbecker. Jumping penalty there for 4 points for a rail down, a time of 49.85, 49.85. Fourth place will go to Aaron Hadlow and Valen Vader. And fifth place to Clint Beresford and EMMAVILLE Jitterbug.
Congratulations to those riders in the show jumping. They certainly made it look easy, and it is anything but, especially at those dizzying heights. Whilst Lindsay Douglas makes her way down to talk to the winners, I'll just let you in on a little bit of information about the history of the Colonel A.V. Pope Silver Cup Perpetual Trophy. You see those outstanding exhibits lined up, waiting for the judges to make their final decision in front of the Sydney stand. It was donated by the late Colonel A.V. Pope and first presented in 1950. The class was originally for 12 to 17 stone hacks. This was changed when Australia converted its horse measurement system. It was then awarded to the best hack over 15 hands, showing thoroughbred qualities. And we know now that one hand is 4 inches. So for those working on the metric system, that's for the best gelding hack over 152 centimetres, measured at the wither. That's the highest point directly in the middle of the shoulders. Colonel A.V. Pope's aim in donating this trophy was to promote a better class of horse in the show ring. So we're looking at the final exhibitors being judged for the Colonel A.V. Pope Silver Cup Perpetual Trophy, awarded for the best gelding hack over 15 hands, which, in the opinion of the judges, shows thoroughbred qualities. All right, a much anticipated moment. We have the announcement of the winner of the Colonel A.V. Pope Best Gelding Hack over 15 hands. The garland will be presented by Mr. David Calvert, and Jessica McEwen will be presenting that gorgeous big trophy on behalf of the Thoroughbred Breeders Association. Please join me in congratulating exhibit catalogue number 1099, Rolex II, exhibited by Ali Berwick and Michelle Labahan. This beautiful grey gelding, which hails from Pakenham Upper in Victoria, joins a very impressive list of past winners. In 2018, it was Base, exhibited by Universal Stables and Sienna Vasilopoulos. Vasilopoulos, my apologies. In 2017, Romsey Park and Mr. Terry Van Hythen, and Miss Edwina Cullen won the coveted trophy with Lords. In 2016, Miss Stephanie Barrington, her SLM Orlando, received the beautiful garlands and sash. Congratulations to Ali Berwick and Michelle Labahan with their horse Rolex second, winning the Colonel A.V. Pope Best Gelding Hack. Whilst they're taking photos of that beautiful exhibit with the trophy and garland, please join me in congratulating second place getter, catalogue 1062, Entourage, exhibited by BR Show Team and W. Coyle and H. Morris, also from Victoria. You'll see standing beside the winning exhibits, we have some very important people there holding the trophy. Jessica McEwen, who is presenting that on behalf of the Thoroughbred Breeders Association. She's beside our judges, Miss Marie Tompkinson and Mr. Joe Pride, and Mr. David Calvert, walking away, has just put the garland on our winning horse.
Oh, well, Hannah Hawker, thank you so much for bringing us the information down here on the ground. I am joined by the wonderful Caitlin Levan. You have got a smile from ear to ear. You've travelled a long way to the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
Yeah, well, it's my first year competing at the Royal this year. We've had a lot of success with this boy. He recently won the Pope Cup in Melbourne Royal, so it's a great thrill to be winning this one here.
Well, I've not worn the right shoes today to be standing next to you. Congratulations, Caitlin. What an outstanding result here today. Rolex 2, the recipient of both the Pope Cup down in Melbourne and now here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. And taking the red ribbon here today, Entourage. Well, we'll make our way over to the show jumping ring for the presentation of our Section 1 show jumping contest.
Over in ring 2, waiting patiently for their announcement, is class number 32, Arabian Derivative Stallion or Colt 3 years and over 14 hands. Congratulations to first place, catalogue 2257, Lord Lamarque, exhibited by West Coast Castle Proprietary Limited, all the way from Darling Downs in Western Australia. Second place, catalogue number 1930, Anthony and Tricia Pauling's Paul Green Park, Vegas. And third place, catalogue number 1895, Claire and Mr. Michael Osborne's Winara Sweet Revenge. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much, Hannah Hawker. We are having champions all around the ring here today. And over with our show jumpers, you can see the presentation now of the Jim Barnes Memorial Perpetual Purple Ribbon and the gorgeous trophy that's being presented here. I'll get you to tell us a bit about that in a moment. It's, of course, going to Tom McDermott with a clear round and a time of 44.62 on Elegance de la Chamille, a horse that he's been doing very well on around the circuit over the last couple of years. Well, Chris Chug taking out second today. P.S. Levelinsky, a horse that he's about to take overseas. A clear round in the jump off and a mere second behind on 45.62 the time. Third place, all the way from Queensland, Brooke Langbecker and Quintago won. She had a rail down in the jump off and a time of 49.85. A fourth place to Val Vader, Aaron Hadlow on board. They had a rail down in the round one of the Section 1 show jumping. In fifth place, it's Emmaville, Jitterbug and Clint Beresford with a rail down and a time of 89.16 in the round one of the competition. Well, Tom McDermott, the New South Wales State Champion, and Elegance de la Chamille, a horse that has had a wonderful Sydney Royal Easter Show campaign. Tom, tell us a bit about this horse.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. I'm really, really happy with her. She's still quite green out in this level. She showed a few green moments the other day in her second class, but the first class she won. I'm very grateful to ride her. She's such a special mare. And yeah, I'd just like to, well done to everyone else. It was a really good course and quite tough today. Got cranked up a little bit compared to the other days. I'd just like to thank all my owners and sponsors, Pip and Jason from Trail Race. They've got a stand here. Yeah, for all their support and all their help with me. And yeah, thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our winner this year, Tom McDermott, the current state champion, and Elegance de la Chamille, winning the Jim Barnes Memorial Perpetual Trophy.
Congratulations, Tom. That perpetual trophy was donated by family and friends of the late Jim Barnes, who received an AM in the Order of Australia in 1991. He was a much celebrated horseman and show jumper himself, and it is awarded to the owner of the winning horse, which is, of course, Tom McDermott.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Hannah Hawker. Here with Jamie Barnes, who is presenting this trophy, the Jim Barnes Memorial Perpetual Trophy. I mean, first of all, can we talk a little bit about Jim and his involvement in the Sydney Royal?
Sure. What in particular?
Well, what was his involvement at Sydney Royal? What did he love so much about this show?
It was mainly the horse events. He and a couple of mates, I didn't realise till relatively recently, actually got show jumping off the ground in this country. Prior to that, it was all high jump, and they got the European style going here. And we didn't see much of that.